Just moved in my new house today. Moving was hard, but I got squared away. Bells started ringing and chains rattled loud. I knew I'd moved in a haunted house. Still I made up in my mind to stay. Nothing was gonna drive me away.
Hey peeps, welcome to another vlog and another project. Let's see, I uploaded my last vlog exactly 1 week ago, so it is Monday again. And at that point, I still had half the panels with yellow wallpaper on it to detail. Well, I did a push some extremely late nights and had them done on Friday. And we started yesterday on our third project. Can anyone guess what it is? More wall panels. My third and final set. And this one, laying these out is extremely easy. I'm doing a real easy pattern. What I originally had planned to do was a stone block panel like I did on my mausoleum last year. And for those of you that aren't familiar with that build or are new to the channel, here's a picture of the mausoleum I did last year. Now you've seen that. I was just going to do just simple brick on the panels, you know, do a light carving on them, and then use my heat gun and water, you know, to age them and, you know, roughen them up a little bit so they look more like stone. And with the size of this set of panels to do, it just didn't have the pop to it. So I decided to come up with a little bit different style to it. And so you'll get a look at it. Here I got half the panel sketched out, and from what I'm seeing on the camera, you're not really seeing all that much. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip it around. I got one panel carved so far, and that will show up. Yeah, will show up if I get some light on it. There you go. Has an arch on it and half of a pillar, and of course all the panels will made up to it, so that pillar will look a lot wider, and it's got my stone block. Am I done with that panel? No. With this project we're going to be doing an extra added step outside in the shop once all the carving's done, and that is I'll be spraying these down with water and taking my heat gun over them, you know, to age up around the where the grout lines would be in between the bricks and give the outer bricks and stuff some texture and stuff. And you'll have footage of that, I guarantee it, further on in the vlog, or maybe the next vlog, depending on how long it takes me to carve these. Now, as far as the number of panels, the last two projects, you've seen two different styles of panels with that, the ones with the pillar and the ones with the yellow wallpaper. I did 40 panels of each, you know, at that size, or 2 foot by 7 foot. I did 40 of them. And let's see, I think I had, yeah, there was 2 1 foot, you know, so half the width of those. I did 2 of them at the 1 foot. This one is actually going for several different displays, some of my small displays. One major display is going to be in the graveyard, and then the cat display, the big blow-up cat that God's Flesh likes to tease me about. And Mark, I know you like the pussy, so excuse the French there. And then into my chain hall and maybe into my torture chamber. It's a lot of area to cover, so this one is going to have 50 panels in it at the 2 foot range, as well as 8 1 foot panels. So this one's going to be a significantly, you know, a little bit bigger project. Nice thing is it doesn't take as long to carve them. You know, I got to carve this recess into it, and it doesn't take too long. It's a mess. It is a heck of a mess. I'll have a lot of waste this trip. But anyway, that's currently what I'm working on. 50 more panels. That's going to bring me up. Once these are done, I'll have 130 new panels for the hunt this year. So hunt ought to look interesting. With this pattern here that I'm currently carving, this is the last of the wall panels I'll be doing for this season. But anyway, that's down the road. I've got 50 panels to carve. But I wanted to give you a start, so you can see where I'm at. I got 25 panels in here right now. They're all sketched out, ready for carving. I've got one done. I did it late last night. So I've got 24 more of these to do. So I think I better put the camera down and I better get busy. Well, time for another segment. It's been a week since I filmed the last one. Been working on getting the pattern sketched out, as you saw in the last segment. And I just finished the first 25 panels. Actually, they're not showing up too bad in this light. Let's send the light down about like that. That'll be a little bit better for you. Probably a wonky camera angle, but you guys should be used to it by now. Kind of explain what I was doing. I wanted arches and a pillar, which I've got. These panels have not been sized yet or trimmed or anything. I'm getting ready to take them out and do that now so I can prep them for painting. But stone brick or stone blocks in the pillars. Now, I did want to bring up this project, while it is fairly quick and easy to carve, is only stage one in the project, even after I get these painted. I have another project that will be going along with these panels. I'm going to be making up some new light boxes, about 5 of them to hang throughout where I put these at. They'll hang here within this archway. About 5 of them, I think. Hopefully, I'm going to get them to look like stained glass. At least that's the thought. But that's going to be a project for a little bit later in the summer. I've got other projects I need to get done first. But this is where we're at now. And my next step is I got to get these outside. Bring the other blanks in. And get going on those. And I got some stuff out in the shop I'm going to do. These panels here, they still need to be trimmed. I need to mount them to the frames, get them trimmed to size exactly. I am going to do some heat treating on them, and I'll give you some footage of that. And then I'll be doing the white base coat and then getting the color sprayed on them. So, and then there'll be a little bit of detail work I'll be doing by hand on them too. So, still got a lot in this project to do, but we've got a really good start. Hey, good morning all. It's another day, another dollar, and it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. As you can see, lots of sunshine out there. So, out in the shop, feels good to get out of the basement. Been trapped in there all winter. It feels good to get a little bit outside, so I've been looking forward to working out here on the next stage of these wall panels. I got my first 25 panels out here in the shop. And as I've done with the other ones, they need to be fitted to the frames, and sized up, base coated, painted, get the base paint on there. So I can take them back into the house and detail them. One thing I'm doing with this one, and I already mentioned it, that I haven't done with the others, that I haven't showed you how I go about it, is I have to heat treat it. And that basically means using a heat gun and water to do it. And I figured I'd kind of go over the process of it. It's relatively simple and not all that hard, but I wanted to kind of show you a process here on a bit of foam scrap that I've got here. And I'm sorry, wonky camera angle. Oh, what the hell. I'll try doing it left-handed instead of right-handed. Now, on heat treating, it's two processes. You know, like I said, water and a heat gun. Wanted to kind of show you the difference here. I'm going to turn this on, let it heat up, and since my other hand's busy, I can't hold the gun, so I'm using my finger to test it. Alan Hobbs method. Gotta give Alan some kicks. Now, I wanted to kind of show you the difference why I'm using the water with the heat gun. With this foam, it melts so easily. If you take your heat gun without the water to it and just kind of go over it, you'll see how it's kind of beaten up. You can see the foam changing there. And it kind of melts and spreads apart. Okay, and actually that doesn't look too bad. Problem though is it melts too much. So the water helps to kind of retard it. So if I take the water and just mist it a little bit, and then take my heat gun over it. Sorry, wonky camera angle. It helps to slow down the melting of the foam, for one. And where the beads of water are, it keeps the foam from melting all the way. And gives you a little bit different pattern. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the water. And that's what it looks like without the water. And you see it looks totally different. It's basically just the foam's just melting there is all it's doing. It's not really giving you any real texture. To where here you get a little bit more texture, and the more you go over it, the more you get. Now, one thing I do want to mention when you're using the heat gun is do not hold the heat gun just in one spot and do it. This thing will melt a hole in your foam very, very quickly. And like with here, where I have the deeper groove lines I cut into it, if I hold it there too long, the foam is a lot thinner there than it is here. I'll have a hole in the heartbeat. So you do have to be kind of careful with that. Another thing I wanted to mention with doing this, with the heat gun, is very well ventilated area. I would recommend not doing this in the house whatsoever, because when you're melting this foam, you're putting a lot of fumes up in the air. You can get yourself very, very sick. So make sure you do this outside, you know, out in your outdoor shop, have a door and a couple of windows open, maybe a fan blowing to help get the air moving around. You know, be careful with it. So anyway, that's, you know, the basic process for heat gunning it. So I'm going to start going over these panels here. I'll get a couple of them up on the table, get them done, and we'll put them together, kind of like I did downstairs. You know, I'll do about 4 sheets of them out here, so you can see what they look like after they've been heat treated. Okay, got the first panel finished. Takes about 10 minutes to do a panel this size. And like I was saying earlier in the last segment, you do have to be careful you don't hold the heat gun in an area too long. You know, like the grout lines here, I like the look of them. I did hit the area where the heat gun was in a little bit too long, and you'll notice the grout line's a little bit more wider than it is there. You know, so something I'm going to have to kind of be careful of. There's a couple of them along the board and what have you. But to me, well, it does kind of look like a rock, I guess, or stone. But once it's painted, it, looks more like stone. Compared, to having it that way. It's too crisp. It doesn't look aged at all. The heat gun works really, really good on the aging it. Now, one thing I didn't mention in the last segment that I should have mentioned when I was going over the process of doing this, another thing you have to be real careful, other than holding the heat gun in an area too long, is on your edges. Like with here, I held the heat gun there too long and the foam started shrinking and pulling away. That's why, that grout line's so big. It will do the same thing on your edges. And if you hold it too long, you'll have whoop-de-doos going in, and the panels won't really have a straight edge to them. So you do have to be careful on the outside corners too. But all in all, I think once this is all the way painted, it's going to look pretty nice. Now I'm going to use a two-tone paint on this. In other words, I'll go over like I've done with all my panels. I'll shoot my white on them, so it's a uniform surface. Everything looks the same. Then I'll come back through with either a lighter or darker gray. And just for now, let's say I use a lighter gray. I'll shoot the whole thing in a light gray. Then I'll come back through with my little airbrush with some black. I'll shoot in all the grout lines. And then I'll get a darker gray out, and I'll go back through all the heavily damaged areas on the heavily melted, I guess you want to call it, or it could be considered damaged. But I'll use a darker gray over those areas. That way you have like a two-tone gray on here. If you ever looked in rocks in nature, the outside shell of the rock's usually one color, and anywhere it's been broken or there's been damage or weathered, it's either a little darker or a little lighter in color, which is what I want here. And I'll help mimic the look of rock, And we got, little pieces here where I have some chips of foam, like this here. There's some rough edges and stuff there. I had the same thing here, and just look, once you stick the heat gun to it, it makes it look more, like a more natural, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But, that compared to that. I mean, here you get the idea, what it's supposed to be. Over there, it looks even more so. So, anyway, that's the process. And we're back. It's the next day. Took just a little over 6 hours to heat treat the panels. And then I spent about 3 hours going through, attaching to the frames, shaping them and stuff. You've seen that in the other vlogs, with the other sets of panels. You've seen that multiple times. I'm not going to cover that. But I did want to show you what they look like, at this point with the damage on them. So you can see the arch, you can see the pillar, you can see the damage. Now what I'm going to do is this flat area here is going to be one color of gray. Then I'll come back in with my airbrush and I'll do the grout lines in black. The damaged areas itself will be a darker gray, what have you. Now I went and picked up my paint, and this isn't probably going to show up, probably going to look more like black, but I got 2 gallons of light gray and a gallon of dark gray. And you'll see what those look like when I'm painting them. So tomorrow I get out here, it's about 8:30. I'm calling it quits. I've been out here most of the day messing around with this and a couple other projects to boot. But I'm going to call it quits. Tomorrow I get out here, I'll start shooting the white base coat on there, which won't take long. And I forgot the other 25 panels in the house to work on. So I can spend half a day shooting paint out here and then go inside and work on those. And then the following day I'll come out and I'll get the lighter color gray shot on them. And then these things will sit and percolate out here until the panels in the house are finished. So now, oh yeah. I talk so much I get thirsty. I do want to give a shout out to the Diablo 85, Jose. Last week, him and his beautiful lady Margaret had a birthday. So happy birthday. The time you see this, it's going to be a little late, but you got my birthday message already. And I also wanted to say thank you to Diablo, J-Wall, and Brad Goodspeed, for those of you that watched. I was on the Haunters Hangout show. I was a little sloshed. Not very much so. Not enough to where it impair my driving, but I was feeling pretty good. Had a ball. Wish the show had been a little bit longer. I felt like there was a lot of topics, questions for the panel that got asked and not everyone got to answer, and other things that needed to be a little bit more in depth. But, you know, if anyone was interested in any of that type of stuff, you know, things that were asked on the show and not answered enough, you can contact us via email. Jose tells you to do that anyway. But all in all, a very thoroughly enjoyable show. Had a great time. I look forward to being on the show again one of these blue moons if Jose will have me back. So we had a ball, and I just wanted to say thank you guys. Thank you, the whole Haunters Hangout crew, for everything you guys do. It makes a world of difference. You are really helping us out here, and it's a great show and a great product. So thank you. Okay, got the first half of the panels base coated, you know, with their primary colors, which was the white, and I have 2 different shades of gray on them. So I figure I'd give you guys a look. Hopefully the lighting's doing okay in here, and you can see the details. Now, end panel down there is not lined up exactly right, but it's good enough for what we're doing. Now, I still need to come through and do my detail work, which is going to consist of the grout lines are going to get sprayed in black, and I have a 3rd color of gray that's going to be going in all the damaged areas, and then there'll be some light touch-ups here and there on each panel. Give you a good shot of the pillar. I don't think I did that inside, and like I said, the panels aren't sitting exactly right, so... But once I get them up onto their installed in the haunt, you know, all the grout lines will match up perfectly, and there won't be any wide seams. You know, like right there, you can see a wide seam in between them. But anyway, so that's what, you know, these panels are pretty much going to look like, minus the detail work. I still got the other 25 panels in the house. I haven't done hardly anything with them. I don't even have the pattern sketched out, so I'll be working on that probably the rest of the day, and then probably get started carving them on tomorrow. So by the end of the week, I'll be back out here spray painting panels and working on detail work in the house in the evenings. Now, something else I wanted to cover too is the spray gun that I had, which is over here. This thing here, it's a Husky. It's been well used. It's done many a prop and many a panel since I bought it a year ago. About halfway through my project over there, it crapped out. First the air wouldn't shut off, and then the paint wouldn't spray. And then the paint and the air wouldn't spray together. Open it up, and it's just the parts inside are worn out. And I wanted to get this project sprayed. So I had a choice. I could either wait a week or two and order parts for the old gun, which I could still get, and it would have ran me about 70 bucks, 70, 80 bucks or so with shipping and tax and all that. Or I could say the hell with it and go down and just get a new sprayer for about the same cost, and you know, have it immediately. I would have had to wait a week or two for the parts to come in, which would have delayed this project a week or two, and I'm running out of time. So I ended up going down to Home Depot, and that particular spray gun is a siphon feed. In other words, there's a can that sits underneath of it and it sucks it up and sprays it out. That's a style air gun I am used to. Went down to Home Depot, which is where I originally bought that a year ago. They don't carry that style no more. What they do carry are gravity feed guns. In other words, your paint goes in here and gravity just feeds it down into the tip. And then when you pull the trigger, you know, it siphons it. So I bought these to do the project. And they work great. The nice thing is I spent 79 bucks and bought a spray gun kit. Which included a large and a smaller airbrush. So you got 2 airbrushes in one. Nice things about it is with it being gravity feed, it takes less air pressure. With that one, I ran about 70 pounds PSI usually. Maximum was about 90 pounds for the setting on that airbrush. These, this one here, maximum is 50 pounds and maximum 40 pounds on this one. and they've each got different size nozzle. This one shoots more paint than this one does, you know, so it's better for more fine detail, which allowed me, I did the light gray with the big gun and the darker gray with the little gun, and there's less overspray with it, which is nice, which means there's less paint up in the air to be breathing in. Still need to use well ventilation, because you do get paint up in the air. But with less overspray, I was able to do 2 colors at once, which made it really, really nice. So I was able to get to that. The only thing I did find a drawback to it that I liked about my other air gun is a canister, which is wonky camera angle right here. This will hold a quart of paint. That there holds about half a quart, just a little over half a quart. So I'm having to fill it more. The other thing is you cannot mix the paint in those containers. If you take it off the gun, you have a hole coming out the bottom and you end up with a mess because all the paint just drains right through it. Acts like a funnel. So I went ahead and saved the old can. You have to pre-mix it in a separate container and then pour it into the gun. That I don't like. That's the only major drawback, you know, is having to mix the paint separately. Just means you have more things, you know, to clean up at the end of the day. But all in all, the guns work really, really nice. I really do like the guns. So it should make things a little bit easier. You know, I can spray faster. With my other projects, I would have done the color separately. I would have come out and shot one color gray one day, let it dry, come out the next day, shoot the other color of gray, you know, and then let it sit overnight, and then the panels will be done. This way, I came out, and I think it took me about 8 hours to do 25 panels with both colors, you know, and it'll, you know, a lot more saving of time with less downtime between, you know, waiting for things to dry. But, you know, it came out great, I think. For those of you who've been with the channel a while, you'll remember last year we went down to a yard sale that a radio station put on about this time of the year. Well, they did it again. They had it again this year, and we decided to take the morning off, and me and the wife and my special helper here decided to go down to the yard sale again. Figured I'd show you the haul we got. We spent about 150 bucks down there and got some neat things for the haunt. First off, that little cast iron stove there, and it's a working cast iron stove. It's made to go into a tent or, you know, something along that line, so if you're out hunting. Figure we can use that in the torture chamber, and I can put some lights or something in it and make it look like it's burning, and, you know, we can have implements sticking out of it and what have you. Another good find that we had, and I'm going to back the zoom out, were the ammo boxes. They had those for 10 bucks each down there, and I figured I could decorate those up, use them in the pirate display, use them in the sewer room, you know, a couple of the other different displays. It'd be great for a pneumatic prop, you know, to be put inside to have a pop out of, you know, so you could probably dress them up a little bit, make them look like some sort of coffin to go in the graveyard. And then we got that little globe down there. Figured that looked great in the Pirates display. I'm going to back this out. And we've got a cat in there. She's got to sniff and go over everything. They had some orders down there. I got a really good deal on them. The guy had them marked for 18 bucks each. We got them, since I was going to buy both of them, gave them to me for 20 bucks. So saved almost 20 bucks on them. I would have paid less. I would have offered 15. Yeah. And then down there, what the cat is sniffing at. Come on, Dove, move. I'm trying to get a shot. There we go. Got some tools that we're going to use in the torture chamber, you know, to add to it. Those two things there are horse tack. They use them with horses. So we got those. So are these are for the hooves? Yeah, for the hooves, yes. Or for nipping nails. Mm-hmm. So we got those. The other things that we got are up on top of the ammo cases. And if our beautiful hostess will display them for us.
If I can.
I'll take an R, Sue. Is there a Y up there, Sue?
There we go.
There we
It's a little
go.
lopsided.
Well, we figured that would look good hanging up or sitting in the gypsy display. That's okay. It's okay if it's lopsided.
Sorry, I'm a perfectionist. I want it straight.
Well, now they can't see. You took it out of the light. It was better back over there. There we go. Anyway, you got that for the gypsy display. It's just kind of neat. It's got some nice detail and stuff on it. And stuff. But we figured with our gypsy display, it's mainly a red display anyway. That would work perfect in it. And then they had a whole slew of bottles down there. And I just told the wife to pick out the ones that she liked. So we picked up a series of bottles, which we can use in the gypsy display. We can use them in the witch display, the pirate display. I can even dress a few of them up and put them over in my sewer room, what have you. We got a ton of glass bottles that we use, and every year we always add more. But we went down for a couple of hours today, had fun down there at the market, and this is what we ended up coming home with. So the cast iron stove is going to be a project later in the summer. I got to get some lights and stuff wired up in there and stuff, so it looks like it has hot coals in it. The boxes or ammo cases are going to be aged and what have you. It's all a project for later in the year. The rest of the stuff will get cleaned up or decorated up as needed for the hunt. But so get an advanced look on a few extra added projects there. She's having fun popping bubbles. She does it so good too. She makes it sound like she's passing gas. But anyway, we got the ammo cases and that stove to work on later. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything with yours or not. Yeah, I got to think about that one. Gotten quite a bit done on the panels over the course of the month. They're all carved. Everything's been base coated, so it has its primary colors on it. I showed you those in an earlier segment. I just finished here about an hour ago. Well, actually about a half hour ago, detailing the first half, which is about 25 panels. I got them detailed. I've got the other 25 out in the shop. I need to detail them yet. And I was getting ready to take this first half out and get them put away. And I realized I hadn't vlogged them yet. And as you can tell, the sun's going down. It's going about 7 o'clock at night. And that bright spot you're seeing is the sunshine coming in through the window. I can't do much about that. But anyway, you're getting a look at these panels, the finished version of them. We did the carving on them, got them painted. There's 4 colors of paint. We got the black for the grout lines. We got a darker gray for the damaged areas, both here and over on the pillar sections. And then we got a light gray up on the pillar sections and a little bit different tint of gray for the wall area. So we've got these, for the most better part, done. The other half of the panels I'm getting ready to bring in should take about a week, maybe a little under that. These things paint up real quick. It all depends on real life. As most of you that have been following the channel know, I sell produce during the summer, usually from about the end of May till the 1st of October. Well, end of May's here, we're getting ready to head out for the season, and things have gotten real busy here work-wise, getting things ready for the season, so I've been working on these as I have the time. And to be honest, I started the 3 projects, the 3 different styles of panels, back November 5th. I'm ready to be done with carving foam board panels, and actually the carving part's done. I just need to get them painted up, and I'll have 3 projects done for the season. But anyway, I did want to show you this and let you know that the project is, for the most better part, done as far as I'm going to vlog it. The other half, like I already said, it's going to take about a week. Then we'll be moving on to something else. Anyway, with that, I'm going to close this out. I'm going to say stay spooky out there. You guys have fun. Catch you on the flip side.